Good morning. Today we're going to learn the Rambam Hilchas Sanhedrin. We're going to deal with a couple of halachas here, and specifically about the Misa of Sayiv, the Arba Misas Bezin, which is the least used of the four Misas Bezin. And we're going to discuss that a little bit. So the Rambam brings the four Misas, and he says, Arba Misas Bezin, Skila, Shreifa, Riga, B'Sayiv, Chenek. Those are the two types of killing people. There's skila, shreifa, and killing with a sayiv and chenek. Then he goes on to say, skila, shreifa, for Rosh and B'Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu lamdu shekol. From Moshe Rabbeinu we learned shekol misa hamura b'Torah stami chenek. And then out of the blue, Rambam decides to tell us which things get sayiv, which means are killed by the sword. And that's not my question. It's a question that's asked. Why in the world would the Rambam talk about it here, as we're going to see soon? He talks about it later. Halacha Beis, he goes on and says, Kol mitzvah mehen, all of these four mitzvahs, Arba Misas Bezin, mitzvah saseh, is a requirement in the Torah to do lebezin la'aregba mishin eschayba. In other words, don't become meek and weak and do what you have to do. At the same time, the Rambam will bring that Bezin almost never kill people. And suddenly he talks about halacha that belongs in Hilchos Malachim. King can only kill with sayiv. Again, terror. What's it doing here? I don't know. Talk about Mrs. Bezin, suddenly talk about a king, which has nothing to do with Bezin. And then he goes on to discuss Halacha Daled, which misas are more chomer than which. Skila chamur min ha-shreifa, shreifa chamur min ha-sayiv, sayiv chamura min ha-chenek. The person gets two misas, nidin b'chamura. The person had to get two misas. It should always be nidin b'chamura. Okay, now this halacha that ein rishus lemelech lareg ba'achas and l'sayiv levad. So the Kesef Mishnah writes that the Rambam doesn't have a marker for this. But there is a Tosefta in Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi says, Arba Misas nimsur bezin skila shreifa herichenek. Hashem is shreifa skila herichenek, because that's a machlekes, which is Mohammed. And the Gemara says, v'lo rishus, meaning to authority, l'nitna l'din hereg levad. Interesting lashon rashus, Rambam links melech. And in Tosefta, you have a tzukah mandal Tosefta, which is a very authoritative Tosefta. In Sanhedrin, Arba Misas nimsu lebezin a rashus lenitla elas ayvela. Okay. So the Lechem Mishnah asked the question, why does it say it here? Why does the Rambam tell us the items that are going to be Chiyuv Misa, Sayiv, even though it doesn't belong here? That's been mentioned later. Perek Tosvav, it's going to be mentioned the next Perek. It goes through. Okay. He tries to give an answer. He gives obviously his answer, but we'll see what we can do. And again, it's not like he's not going to say what in the one paragraph later, he goes through the whole list of who gets what. And so why did he have to write this right now? Again, what's the Melech doing in Hilchas Arba Mrs. Bezin? And in Hilchas Melachim, he writes, Kol Amari the Melech Yisrael Yashem Achas HaHargai. And then he says, Vein LaMelech Rishus, so why repeat the halacha here? And it belongs in Hilchas Melachim. Again, we said the Lashon Roshus is similar to the Lashon Masechtas Avos, Al Tisavad, Roshus. Rambam translates as Roshus as a Shultan, and here he writes the word Melech. Now, if the Rambam is doing it because that's the way it's in the Tosefta and in the Yishalmi, which could have been that if that's his makar. Then why did he wait to write it at the end of when he tells you call mitzvahs? He should have read right away at the beginning that all the chiyuvim and Bezin can only do all the Ma'aber mitzvahs and Bezin and the Melech can only do Messiah. All right, so and there's just a note that the only that Sayyif is a unique. Misa of Bezin, it only applies to two cases. Those are the only cases. Now, I would like to suggest, but before that, to introduce. Rambam Hilchos Avodah Zarah speaks about the Chiyuv for Avodah Zarah. The Chiyuv of Avodah Zarah is Skila. Perek Gimel Halacha Aleph. Perek Dalet Halacha Aleph talks about Ir Nidachas. Yisrael Arei Eilen Eskolim. They all get skila. However, if they worship Avodah Zarah. So the Rebbe asks the kasha in Chelik Tes, the Kuta Sichos. Avodah Zarah is b'skila. So it comes out that Anshe Yer Nidachas get out with less. They go down. Meskir to Herek. And we saw before the order is Herek is lower than the skila. So why did they go down? I ever said an interesting nisay based on the union of Tzibur that they're not Yechidim, they're a new entity of Tzibur. And this is so it's not. In other words, he answered the question: why is it not a chiyuv to give them skila? Because the betzim believe skila al yachid. They're not a yachid anymore. They're a tzibur. But but still remains a question in the concept that why did the Torah go and say that a tzibur gets less than a yachid? And their answers to that practicality, that you're not going to get a tzibur to submit to an organized skila, but it's not really fit in the Rambam. Okay, so I would just want to suggest that if we read the Rambam, perhaps we can come up with an answer. The Rambam there in Hilchos Avodah Zarah describes the din of Ir Nidachas. V'heich din Ir Nidachas. When it is fit to become an Ir Nidachas, Bezin sends messengers. They do shluchim, and they do a thorough research until they come to the conclusion that the whole or most of the city has worshipped Avodah Zarah through Madichin. And so what they do then, Adam says they send two Talmid Chachamim to warn them, to try to get them to do tshuva. If they did tshuva, good. Interesting. But if they continue, then Bezdin, listen to the words. Bezdin mitzuvim l'chol Yisrael. Bezdin commands all Yidden la'ales aleim litzava. They go in as an army. V'hein tzard aleim. Erchen imoim milchama. They attack them and they fight the war. Achati boka ha'ir. Till they break through the city. Miyad. Okay, tish debaka. Miyad. Marvel hem batedinim v'donanais. Immediately, you had batedinim and you judge them. Call me shabo olav shnei edim sha'ava adchavim. You separate them. Nimtzeruba, you bring them up to Bez Nagadol. So it is an orderly process. Finish the din there, and you kill them beside. And then goes on. Umakin is called nefesh adam b'ashabal lefi charev pap v'noshim hutchakula. You kill them all. Lefi charev. V'im nimtzu aivdem ruba makin is called atav v'noshim shalev lefi charev. V'hargen called nefesh chaya shabab. A serpent called shalola ima medina v'eish. Seifasa mitzvah aseish nem v'shat v'eish. Go here. Okay. There's a Sefer Divrei Yirmiyahu on the Rambam writes that they go up as that the go is an army who mitzvah abe to abdun u'melchama im hamomim and with the other nations v'amalek shual kol Yisrael v'loyal abezn b'vad. This is a mitzvah on all of them, just like those mitzvahs to fight the wars against everybody, against the Shiva Amim and Amalek. And he goes on and describes that. Okay, so I want to suggest that what the Rambam is describing with Sayiv is that Sayiv is as we know, Lefi Chara is an act of war. Sayiv is used in war. An Ir Nidachas is not just killing sinners. It's a war against the city. Yes, we need a bezdin because we don't kill people indiscriminately. But that's part of the Muhammad. And that's what he says, that you have to go to Muhammad and you wage war. So you break through the city. And then when you break through the city, there's a process to carry out the war. And at the end, he says, you kill everybody beside. And then you go on in this, and afterwards, the Makkah is called Nefesh Ha'adam HaShavol V'Yicharet. If that's the case, we can understand why the Ir Nidach is Messiah, because it's not, and with the Rebbe's word that it's not a private thing. It's a war against the nation. They become a entity to destroy. And that has to be destroyed is through Messiah. Just like any war. All right. If that's the case, it makes sense why here he mentions Melech in the Rambam Bayas, in Hilchas Sanhedrin, because he's trying to bring out that Sayiv has to do with Melech, has to do with Muhammad. Anybody who takes on the kingdom is a Merid B'Malchus and Muhammad. That's why he writes Melech, not Roshus. The stress that it's an Indian of Muhammad. And perhaps that's why he starts off with these two halachas, even though he's going to mention it in Perek Tasvav, because he's here to tell you that Saif is not the same as the rest, even though it's part of our mitzvah. It's different, and it's designed for war. Why didn't he bring right away the halacha of Melech? Because he wanted to say all the ancient and the Achrayus of Bezin. And then he says that what you should know that the Achrayus that Bezin has regarding Saif is different. Okay. That answers one part. That answers the Nidachas. What about Ritzicha? So, a little stretch, but I want to say that how do we know that a Ritzicha gets Saif? So, the Mechilta Rabbi Shmuel says, because it says in the pasuk by Ritzicha Nokam Yinokim. So he said he brings there. Rabbi Kiva says Nemakan the Kima v'Neman lahal nokim the koin nikmas b'nei Yisrael minam Jonim mal lahal becher v'kam becher. And the Rambam explains that killing a person is killing a whole world. Kind of the chemist, it's in a coma. Rambam, the Rashi uses that lashon, and so I think that with a Ritzeach who kills a person is killing a world, as the Rambam says, is because it's a war. And therefore, that's also goes under the heading of war. So the point of the matter is that Sayiv belongs to war. And that's why it's only in these two places where there's an union of war with another Yid. Otherwise, there's no wars with Jews. And that's why those are the only two that are Chayiv with Sayiv. Sei gesund, Atzlacha Rabba, be well.